Welcome to the bloody channel, you lot. Today we're getting our hands dirty with a business venture that's hotter than my grill, food truck rentals. Yeah, you heard me right. We're diving headfirst into this culinary craze to see if it's the money-making machine everyone thinks it is, or if it's going to leave you with a bad taste in your mouth. We'll be serving up a scorching hot plate of pros and cons, so listen up if you want to make it in this cutthroat industry. Let's get this show on the road. First things first, let's talk about flexibility because in this game, it's more important than a sharp chef's knife. With a food truck, you're not chained to one spot like a donkey. You've got the freedom to take your culinary creations on the road, hitting up different locations and events. Think about it. One day you could be serving up gourmet burgers at a local brewery, the next you're dishing out lobster rolls at a music festival. That's the beauty of it. You can chase the crowds, adapt to the seasons, and cater to different customer bases, all while building your brand and expanding your reach. Don't underestimate the power of mobility. It could be your secret weapon to outmaneuver the competition and become a culinary kingpin. But don't think for a minute that it's all sunshine and rainbows. Finding the right locations, getting permits, and dealing with logistics, that's a whole different kettle of fish we'll dive into later. Remember, freedom comes with responsibility, and trust me, there's a whole lot of responsibility riding on those four wheels. Now let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, money, or rather, saving money. Because let's face it, starting a restaurant business is about as risky as flipping a flaming pan of scallops. One wrong move and you're burnt. But here's where food trucks have a fighting chance. You see, running a brick-and-mortar restaurant comes with a mountain of overhead costs. Rent, utilities, staffing. It's enough to make you want to chuck your apron in the fryer. But with a food truck, you can kiss those sky-high overheads goodbye. You're looking at lower rent, reduced utility bills, and a smaller team to manage. This means you can keep more of your hard-earned profits, reinvest in your business, and potentially turn a profit faster than a traditional restaurant. But don't get complacent, you hear me? Lower overhead doesn't mean you can slack off. You still need a rock-solid business plan and the discipline to manage your finances like a seasoned accountant. Otherwise, you'll be singing a different tune, one of bankruptcy and despair. Listen, in the culinary world, you need to stand out like a Michelin star in a sea of greasy spoons. And that's where food trucks have a real advantage. They offer a unique, often quirky, dining experience that traditional restaurants just can't replicate. It's not just about the food, it's about the atmosphere, the energy, the whole bloody package. Think about it. People are drawn to the novelty of ordering from a window, the tantalizing aromas wafting through the air, the buzz of a bustling street food market. It's an experience, not just a meal. And that's what keeps customers coming back for more. So don't be afraid to get creative with your concept, your menu, your branding. Inject your personality into every aspect of your food truck, and you'll create an experience that's as memorable as one of my signature dishes. But remember, consistency is key. You can't just rely on novelty. The food still has to be bloody brilliant, or your customers will be running to the nearest burger joint faster than you can say service. So you've got this killer food concept, but you're not ready to gamble your life savings on a brick-and-mortar restaurant just yet. I don't blame you. That's a recipe for disaster if you're not careful. But here's where renting a food truck can be a bloody brilliant move. Think of it as a culinary incubator, a low-risk way to test the market, refine your menu, and build a loyal following before taking the plunge into a permanent location. You can experiment with different dishes, gauge customer reactions, and get valuable feedback on your concept. It's like a real-life culinary boot camp, preparing you for the heat of the restaurant industry. But don't mistake this for a free pass. You still need to treat it like a proper business, with meticulous planning, execution, and a relentless focus on quality. This isn't a playground, it's a proving ground. And trust me, I'll be watching to see if you've got what it takes to make it. Now let's talk about events, because that's where food trucks really come into their own. From music festivals to corporate gatherings, weddings to private parties, the demand for mobile catering is booming like a perfectly risen souffle. And food trucks are in the perfect position to capitalize on this growing market. Think about it. You've got a built-in kitchen on wheels, you can bring the food directly to the masses, and you offer a unique and memorable experience that's sure to impress any crowd. But it's not as simple as just showing up and dishing out grub. You need to be organized, efficient, and able to handle high-volume orders without compromising on quality. Remember, you're often working under pressure, in tight spaces, and with limited resources. It's a true test of your culinary mettle, but get it right, and you'll be raking in the dough faster than you can say wedding cake. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the lack of space in the truck. Because let's face it, food trucks are notorious for their cramped quarters. You're working in a tiny kitchen with limited counter space, storage, and equipment. It's like trying to prepare a 5-course meal in a bloody broom cupboard. This means you need to be ruthlessly efficient with your space, your movements, and your menu planning. Forget about elaborate dishes with a million components. Focus on simple, streamlined recipes that can be executed flawlessly in a confined environment. And don't even think about hoarding ingredients like a culinary hoarder. You need to be strategic with your purchasing and storage, making the most of every square inch. Remember, in a food truck, less is more. It's about maximizing your output with minimal resources. Now let's talk about something you can't control, the bloody weather, because when your business is literally on wheels, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature's temper tantrums. One minute you could be basking in glorious sunshine, the next you're battling torrential rain, howling winds, or even a scorching heat wave. And trust me, nothing sends customers running for cover faster than a soggy burger bun or a melted ice cream cone. So, you need to be prepared for anything and everything. Invest in a sturdy tent or awning to shield your customers from the elements. Have a plan B for bad weather days, whether it's offering a limited menu or relocating to a covered area. And most importantly, stay informed about the forecast and be ready to adapt at a moment's notice. Remember, in the food truck game, you're not just a chef, you're a weather warrior, and only the strong survive. Listen up, because this is important. The food industry is riddled with rules and regulations, and the food truck game is no exception. In fact, it can sometimes feel like you need a law degree just to operate a bloody deep fryer. From food safety permits to fire inspections, parking regulations to noise ordinances, the list of hoops you need to jump through can be daunting. And it varies from city to city, state to state. One wrong move and you could be facing hefty fines, closures, or even legal action. So do your homework. Research the specific regulations in your area, contact the relevant authorities, and make sure you're compliant with every single rule. It might seem like a pain in the arse, but trust me, it's better to be safe than sorry, because the last thing you want is a visit from the health inspector shutting down your operation faster than I can say you're fired. Let's face it, the food truck industry is more crowded than my kitchen during a dinner rush. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, from seasoned chefs to culinary cowboys, all vying for a slice of the pie. So, if you want to survive in this cutthroat arena, you need to bring your A game. You need a unique selling point, something that sets you apart from the competition. Whether it's your innovative menu, your exceptional quality, your quirky branding, or your stellar customer service, you need to give people a reason to choose your truck over the hundreds of others. Don't be afraid to experiment, to push boundaries, to take risks, and never, ever compromise on quality. Remember, in the food truck game, you're only as good as your last meal, so make it a bloody good one. Listen, your food truck is your pride and joy, your culinary chariot, your mobile moneymaker. So, you better treat it with the respect it deserves. That means regular maintenance, preventative care, and addressing any problems as soon as they arise. Think of it like this. Would you drive a car with bald tires and a sputtering engine? Of course not. So why neglect your food truck, which is essentially your business on wheels? Regular servicing, oil changes, brake checks, equipment inspections. These aren't just suggestions, they're essential to keeping your truck on the road and your business running smoothly. Remember, a well-maintained truck is a reliable truck. And a reliable truck means happy customers, consistent service, and ultimately more money in your pocket. So, don't be a lazy sod. Give your truck the TLC it deserves, and it will reward you tenfold. Well, there you have it, you lot. The raw, unfiltered truth about the food truck industry. It's a tough gig, no doubt about it. Long hours, tight spaces, relentless competition, and the ever-present threat of a soggy bottom. But it's also exhilarating, rewarding, and full of potential. So if you've got the passion, the drive, and the stomach for it, renting a food truck could be your ticket to culinary success. Just remember what I've taught you. Stay sharp, stay focused, and never, ever serve up a raw dish. Now go out there and make me proud.